I had a moment today where the idea of having a smoke and getting high just came to mind in like a split second, and I could have, I knew that it was available, and within like the next minute, I could have gotten high. Yeah, and it didn't. It had not been in my mind all day. It just came to me in that second, and I could have gotten high within the next minute. And the moment it came to mind, I knew, and I immediately prayed, and I find it strange to call it praying because I mean, if you are listening to this, and if you happen to have heard one entry I did a few days ago, I mean, it's so awkward. It's so awkward in my head even thinking about it. But I was talking about, I shared how I got sober the last time I got sober, what helped me, and it stayed with me since. And I mean, I'm not going to mention it again. It's so crazy. But I called on that again today. I called on that connection. I called on it again today in that moment, and I was fine. But this is insane because I mean, it cannot be real, right? But maybe it is, because this is exactly, in the recovery program, the idea is to, like, the actual recovery program. Right now, I'm still just winging it. But the idea is to connect with a higher power of one's understanding, whatever that is, God, in whatever way one conceives of God, or just any kind of higher power, some force that is stronger than oneself. And like that, you just recognize that and call on that power to help you. And I do believe in God, and I have my understanding of God. But in starting out on the recovery program, I was struggling. I struggling to connect with the program, and to get, like, to connect with the process and begin the process. And I think processes in general, I struggle with, just doing anything in some set way. It's just a difficulty for me. Even though I do have a connection to God, I wasn't able to connect in this way. But that's the whole idea. And then I was still battling, and I was still like, and then I was trying, and then I relapsed, and then I got sober by connecting to. I mean, this is insane. But okay, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to talk about this again. I'm going to share it again, crazy as it may sound. But if you're anywhere in the world right now and you are not living under a rock, you will know how do I even talk about this in this regard, like in this context? You will know the resurgence of the spirit of the one and only Michael Jackson, right? And I've been loving it. I love him, and I have all my life, and I'm absolutely loving the just rebirth of everything Michael Jackson right now, and how inspired, how present his spirit is right now, and in his music and in his story that is being told, and people connecting to it, younger generations connecting to it. And yeah, all of that. I'm so here for it, and it's great. It's been great, and I've been, yeah, I fully entered into that, into into all of that, and I've been, yeah, having the time of my life, just living in that world, going with it, and so yeah, a month ago, it's more than a month now. A while after I'd relapsed, and I, yeah, was getting high for a while, and I was deep in it, and it's like deep in that current, in that binge at the time, and it was going to be a while before I could get out, and one day, just really felt his presence very strongly as I was listening to his music, or just felt the depth of whatever the spirit is that he put into his art, into his work, and into his life. And yeah, and I felt that deeply, and I just spoke to him. I just spoke to him and asked for his help, and there was that connection point that I made. It's like MJ, Michael Jackson, and MJ being marijuana, my drug of choice, that I love, that I absolutely love, and that has been addictive to me. That has been a source of difficulty in my life. Yeah, and I just had this connection and this moment, and prayed for, like an exchange of this one kind of MJ, and let me just, go with the spirit of MJ as I was feeling it right now, and like exchange one MJ for another. Like, if that could be fine, let me just do that. Let me just, and like, it is actually deeper than that as well, because then the next day after sharing that, I was realizing, he, yeah, and I'd share this. I'm just repeating it again, but he had this intention, in creating his music, to create an escape for people from the difficulties of life into joy, and he put so much heart into his music, and it brings joy. It really does. It's undeniable. Yeah, and it's like thinking about how we tend to try to escape and to look for escape through, different habits, substances that don't really bring escape, that create deeper bondage. And so I was thinking about just escape in that sense, and but then realizing that the escape that he created was a different kind, and appreciating that. Yeah, and so today I had this moment where I probably would have gotten high if it didn't. And this was, so on the recovery program, that's what you're supposed to do, is just pray instead, and also like call your sponsor and talk to them, and work the steps and read the book and all of that. And I always struggled to do that whenever I was feeling weak, or tempted. It was very difficult for me to connect with the process. But yeah, a month ago I had this connection, and like just this kind of, it just came as like just a moment, an inspired moment. I connected with it. It helped me get sober immediately. I haven't smoked since. And today, and a few days ago, I had another weak moment, and connected in, and it helped. And today again, it happened again today, and I actually consciously prayed, actually consciously just spoke to him again, just like, MJ, I need some help. That's why I'm saying it's weird to call it prayer, and I find it weird because he's not God, obviously. But I do honestly think he was some sort of angel. I really do. And I'm happy to connect with that right now. So, again, I don't want to put his name into this message. like, I don't want to put this name on the title of this. I didn't have no intention of making this, anything in that sense. What I was also realizing is I really do need to get onto this process. I really do need to get into the recovery program and take it seriously and do that and share that, because I am in a dangerous place. Like, I really could. It may not always work. I may not always remember to call on the power of MJ. It may not always help me. I am in a very precarious position, and I can't afford to go back down that road right now. So, or ever, I hope never again. Really, we haven't even actually started talking about addiction and about the journey I've had, and trying to heal and like really get into. And that's what this is for, is to share that, to work on it, to actually work on it, and to share that. So I do need to get started with that. And yesterday, sorry, just a second. Yeah, I just wanted to check that this was actually recording. But yesterday, what I shared about was how I was inspired to start working on a certain creative project or idea that came to me, and I was feeling a little guilty about that, because knowing that I have this work to do, and it's urgent and it's important, and I'm like going from one heart-inspired thing to another, but I really need to use my brain, use my head, like do the required thing, and I chose to follow my heart in that moment, um, and I ended the message and felt like more guilt and shame, thinking about the fact that I'm a mother, I have a kid, and I'm not taking this as seriously as I should be. Mother guilt and shame is a major thing that is not always helpful, really, for anything, really. It's so prevalent and really not very helpful most of the time. And so it's also not to be doing that from that place of just guilt or shame. But and maybe even apart from that identity, and actually this is important that we do it for ourselves before anything and anyone, even the most important thing in my life. It has to start with me. Even before my son, even before anything that I deem important, or a reason to heal and do what I need to do, I have to do that for myself. And yeah, I just kind of have to remember that again, that this is very important work that needs to be done, and it needs to be done, and I need to get working on it seriously this time, and thankful for the help I've had along the way so far, and hope it stays with me, MJ, and carry on. And and with all my love to the MJ that I've always loved as well. Well, I'm talking about Mary Jane. Yeah, I hold no grudges. I don't see anything bad or wrong in her. It was just the way that the relationship that I had with her was not healthy for me. And so, we need to move on to just healing of a different kind of Yeah, and really take that journey and put my heart in it as well. Okay, so perhaps we can start tomorrow in a more solid way, like go back to the book and begin. Yeah, I will make an effort towards that tomorrow. Okay.